Former UFC welterweight champion Leon Edwards addressed his followers for the first time after weeks of silence following UFC 322. For the first time in his professional MMA career, former UFC welterweight champion Leon Edwards was on the wrong end of a brutal knockout performance. Edwards and Carlos Prates squared off in a pivotal welterweight matchup last month at UFC 322. After Edwards got off to a fast start in the first round, Prates closed the show with a brutal right hand that knocked Edwards unconscious. It was Edwards' first career knockout defeat and his third consecutive loss overall. Before the loss to Prates, Edwards dropped the UFC welterweight title to Belal Muhammad, before a decisive loss to Sean Brady at UFC London earlier this year. After weeks of silence, Edwards provided some insight into his mindspace after another huge setback inside the Octagon. In a recent statement posted to X, Edwards shared a cryptic message in his first public remarks since UFC 322. "Yesterday's the past, tomorrow's the future, but today is a gift," Edwards posted. Edwards will now need to win at least 3 fights, more than likely, before making the case for another title shot. Unfortunately for Edwards, his current struggles come at an eventful time in the UFC welterweight division, headlined by newly minted champion Islam Makhachev. Michael Morales and Prates made strong cases for title shots with their performances at UFC 322. Ian Machado Gary, who defeated Muhammad at UFC Qatar last month, is also in the welterweight title mix. Edwards hasn't won since a lopsided decision victory over Colby Covington at UFC 296. He won the UFC welterweight championship with a come-from-behind knockout of Kamaru Usman at UFC 278, before beating him in their rematch at UFC 286. As of this writing, it's uncertain when Edwards will return to the Octagon. When he does, it's arguably a must-win situation for the former champion.